Viewers of Delayed Input have come to expect a few things. Spicy takes, saucy jokes, bullet points, depressive exasperation, occasional Shrek references, and booty pics. However, after a brutal fiscal quarter, we need to make cuts. While this service will remain mostly unchanged, I regret to inform you that I will no longer be offering spicy takes. Thank you for understanding. This week, the biggest gaming news of the year dropped on our laps. Plop, Microsoft announced its intent to acquire Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion US. Probably old news to you at this point, but very sudden, unexpected, unrumored thing happened this week, and that's a lot of money. That's more money than any video gaming acquisition ever, Microsoft's biggest acquisition ever. If you have a weekly video game show like this, it's what you have to talk about this week. And so for me, it's like, what angle do I come at this from? What's the Delayed Input perspective? And what I would like to do is, I would like to look at Microsoft's official announcement, because I think there's a lot more there than what you see in the text. This is my Activision Acquisition Proclamation Evaluation, or APE for short. This is my APE. First, we should talk about this image, the first thing you see. One will note that it is the exact same format that they used for the ZeniMax acquisition announcement. Like, they just do this so often, they just got a template for this kind of thing. I actually want to reference this Bethesda post a few times throughout this video because I think it provides a very interesting point of comparison. But, firstly, I think faces are important. I talk about this all the time. Intellectual properties are the commodity of the modern media landscape, right? And faces are 85% of the value of your IP. You see that demonstrated here. And just like with the Bethesda crew, you put your biggest stars in the middle and then fan them out from there. This is what boy bands have been doing for years. Call of Duty and World of Warcraft are the hot ones. Now, despite being the best-selling video game series in the world, despite its decade plus of dominance, Call of Duty has one popular character, and it is this guy, Captain Price. He's known for his distinct facial hair, and also, he's kind of really the only person you could have put there. Now, Candy Crush does have faces associated with its franchise, but they're this. What's this? It's a good call, leaving that out of your collage. Also worth noting, Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, not pictured, despite having much more recognizable faces than this guy. However, their IPs, not as valuable. This is the big boys club. Spyro and Crash Bandicoot were relegated to the subheader with Guitar Hero, Hearthstone, and Tony Hawk, the person. Overall, I think it's an interesting image. If you just look at this whole thing. Three of these characters are having some sort of self-satisfied grin on their face, yet it still kind of emanates this dour vibe. But yeah, it's kind of the vibe I get from this announcement. I shouldn't say it's dour to acquire Activision Blizzard, but it's not fun. It's not exciting. It feels more like Microsoft's just kind of entering the room with blood on their shirt. It's like sitting down, just going, it's done. I fucking did it. It's done. The first sentence of the announcement is this. As a team, we are on a mission to extend the joy and community of gaming to everyone on the planet. Okay, bro. As we pursue that mission, it is incredibly exciting to announce that Microsoft has agreed to acquire Activision Blizzard. Hey everyone, I have good news. Sit down. I have agreed to marry your mother. Because the reality is, Activision Blizzard is in a bad spot. Serious harassment suits. Blizzard games getting delayed. Call of Duty underperforming. Stocks down. We have a board here that presumably, seemingly, was ready to sell. And maybe enthusiastically so. So yeah, Microsoft kind of covers all of that stuff. Just with the ordering of their phrasing, Microsoft has agreed to acquire them. Later on we learn Until this transaction closes, Activision Blizzard and Microsoft Gaming will continue to operate independently. Once the deal is complete, the Activision Blizzard business will report to me as CEO, Microsoft Gaming. Whoa. Because that's new, by the way. Phil Spencer was announced that very same day to be the CEO of gaming at Microsoft. Before this momentous day, his title was Executive Vice President of Gaming, though it seemed that he preferred the term Head of Xbox, at least in that Bethesda post. And this is the only time in this entire post that Phil Spencer refers to himself in first person. Everywhere else it's we. But now, when he has to tell everyone who these studios will be reporting to, they gotta know. Phil Spencer, normally pretty chill guy. But now he is king. There is this organizational chart at the end of the post, the very last thing. This is notably absent from Bethesda's announcement. I suspect half of this is to visually demonstrate Phil's dominance over others. But also, as I keep saying, faces are important. Probably not coincidental that this image, showing 7 of 13 on the gaming leadership team, are women, attached to the announcement of the acquisition of a company apparently brimming with rampant sexism. And overall, it's just kind of nice. It feels like the end credits to a movie. We all made this happen, but mostly me. One last thing I want to point out that I think is kind of a big deal. We also announced today that Game Pass now has more than 25 million subscribers. It seems like a good number. It seems unfathomable. It's more than last time. I looked it up though, just out of comparison. I wanted to see what Netflix was at. They're at 222 million paid subscribers. And that's not enough for them. So I don't know what 25 million means. It seems... Anyway, I think this emphasis is important. That we're focused on this 25 million Game Pass subscribers. Not talking about console sales, not one bit. But also that we're just calling them Game Pass subscribers now. Because I think it was the Game Awards. It was a commercial of the Game Awards that they announced that Xbox Game Pass for PC will now be called PC Game Pass. And to me it seems that Game Pass is positioned to replace the word Xbox as the brand. Maybe. This phrase, Microsoft Gaming, appears several times in this post, and not once in this Bethesda post, which does have the word Xbox all over it. And it's probably the right call. We gotta move on. The word Xbox does have strong brand awareness, but also sounds stupid to normal people. Which brings me to my final read on all this. We can't expect Microsoft to want to grime it out with Sony and Nintendo forever. Microsoft's CEO of gaming, Phil Spencer, did a very interesting interview with the Washington Post. I want to highlight a couple of quotes. First, Nintendo's not doing anything that damages gaming in the long run because that's the business they're in. Sony is the same and I trust them. Valve's the same way. When we look at the other big tech competitors for Microsoft, Google has search and Chrome, Amazon has shopping, Facebook has social, all these large-scale consumer businesses, the discussion we've had internally, where those things are important to those other tech companies for how many consumers they reach, gaming can be that for us. And then a very recent tweet, also cited in this article, had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry, and we value our relationship. I think it's cute. I think those are sweet things to say. I think it's condescending, but realistic. Microsoft is in a different league. It's like they're coming off and saying, hey guys, this has been fun, but we're going to go ahead and buy the biggest third-party publisher outright. We've had a good time, little squabbles, but we're battling Amazon and Apple and Google and Meta. So, World of Warcraft and Call of Duty is ours now. Bye. In the end, I'm not shocked by the announcement. In fact, 2 days later, it just kind of feels like something that was going to happen, inevitably. And to be fair, it might still not happen, right? It's not going to happen until at least 2023, and then even then, they might not get cleared because of antitrust. Whatever the case. Today, The Xbox family looks a lot more like the Microsoft Corporation. We should probably treat it as such. Ultimately, their mission is to get 7.7 billion Game Pass users. And I don't think this deal is going to get them there. And that's it for today. I'll be back with more delayed input next week. Hope to see you then. Thanks for watching. So as I was preparing this week's video, I looked back at this bit from just 2 episodes ago. What companies are left to acquire? And I feel like it has to continue throughout 2022. And then I think, why not? Why shouldn't we? We should all probably try to come up with some dumb game studio names and see if anybody will buy one. Why shouldn't you? I'll start. Huckland Bamble Dyer Games is now for sale. I'm fielding offers. Don't lowball me. And obviously that was a dumb joke. But after this week's whole hubbub, I'm kind of thinking, damn, there is literal billions on the table right now. Could it really hurt to set up a business and give it a shot? And so that's what I did. I set up Huckland Bamble Dyer Games as an actual game studio, set up a business phone, did the whole thing, and we'll just see how it goes. Oh my gosh. Here we go, my first call. Hello, this is Huckland Bamble Dyer Games.
Hi, Gray, this is Breckin Meyer.
What?
Breckin Meyer.
I'm sorry, I don't know who that...
Garfield's dad.
Oh. Okay.
Listen, the name Huckland Bamble Dyer is legally indistinct from my name, Breckin Meyer.
Well, that was not the joke.
Doesn't matter. I'm acquiring Huckland Bamble Dyer Games.
Okay, for how much?
Nothing. I'm taking it. I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Wait a second. Jim Davis is Garfield's dad.